Welcome to Ope. I Found a Weird Show. I'm Laura,
Beans.
I'm Lauren.
and today we are going to continue our recap of season 1 of the TV show From. Today we have episode 4, A Rock and a Faraway. So we're going to recap again, as always, feel free to jump in and give your thoughts. I know this one answered some questions that you guys had previously brought up.
Also gave us so many more questions as per usual.
Always. They can't just give you a straight answer.
No, that would be too easy.
It wouldn't be fun.
Exactly. Yeah. What's the point of a mystery show if you solve all the mysteries?
That's true.
So this one starts with a little boy who we have never seen before, emerging from the root cellar, the same one that Jade saw that weird dead body, screamy rock guy. And the little boy is carrying a disco lunchbox. He's all alone, and there are several dead bodies on the land around him. And then que sera, sera. So we do pretty quickly figure out that he's Victor. So I'm just going to say that now because Victor has the same lunchbox. And
Well, he looks exactly like Victor, like the same outfit, same everything. Just
yeah,
younger.
they found an amazing actor to they were like, we need somebody who's this person as a child, and they found them.
Yes. They just used a time machine, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because it's dead on. I would like to see pictures of that actor as a child and be like, wow, they did a great fucking job. But we cut back to Victor at the colony house, and he is drawing a picture of a sleeping Julie. She wakes up startled, as you would, and Victor says something to her that I think is pretty prominent to Victor's story throughout this episode, but he says to her, you know how sometimes you dream and you forget, but then later you start to remember and you realize it wasn't a dream and that all of it maybe really happens? I think I'm starting to remember things. So, pretty ominous way to start the episode.
Right.
Also, poor Julie. I would freak the fuck out if I woke up.
Especially since she was already kind of afraid of him because of the Peaches incident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a rough way to wake up. Look, I don't wake up well on a good day, let alone creepy house, creepy dude. Even though I love Victor. Me and him
Right.
would be friends. He wouldn't want to be my friend, but we would be friends. Uh, but Victor gives her the drawing, and she is really creeped out by him. And then he picks up the same lunchbox the little boy was carrying and walks off. So again, the episode's pretty clearly this is that kid.
Mm-hmm.
Trudy walks up and asks Julie for her pillow back. She named it Meredith and says you should always name the things that matter to you. Julie mentions that she has the same T-shirt that Trudy is wearing, and Trudy says, "Yeah, I know. I got it from your suitcase." Which, that would have been rough. Uh, she says we share everything around here, and Julie is clearly off put by the whole thing.
Oh, it's almost like you should have done a little bit of research
She's
before you
still a
picked the colony
child,
house.
but
And
She is a
also
teenager.
child, yes, hear me out. She's a child, hear me out. But I'm pretty sure critical thinking is one of those things they teach you in school.
I don't
not
know.
all schools.
I didn't have my critical thinking course until college, and then
Yeah,
I was
same.
like, why are we teaching critical thinking in college and not way earlier?
Yep.
That's fair.
But also, like, I still think it's mainly on the people who run this town who are just like, yeah, we'll make the literal miners decide where they are going to live without any discussion about it or including them in, like, looking at the house they could be in.
Yeah, I agree. It was, and yeah, I there's a lot going on with Julie, and I get why she picked the thing that she picked, but also teenagers be teenagerin', you know?
Yeah, some of the details that we learn later in the episode does shed a little light on it.
Right.
Yeah. So back to town, Boyd goes to the box to clean up Frank's dead body because that just happened last night. Um, and at the diner, Sarah walks in to find Tien Chen crying. So then we cut to the Matthews house, where Jim and Tabitha are having a conversation about Thomas. So that is the son who died before any of this happened. And we kind of get some of this further on, but I'm just going to say it now. So, like, their son was a baby and he died, I think it was like 14 months before they ended up in this town.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know the backstory of how that child passed away or anything like that yet. We just know that they had another child. Um, Tabitha, Tabitha asks if they are being punished, and went during that, and she's upset. And then Ethan comes in and says that he misses Julie, which like rough for the parents today. But Jim and Ethan decide that they're going to head to the diner for breakfast because the town has a communal one, and he kind of wants to, break from what's happening at the moment. And Tabitha decides to get her thoughts together and unpack and not go to the diner. So while they're walking to the diner, right after they come out of the house, here comes Boyd with Frank's body in the wheelbarrow. And I think it was really sweet that he was like trying to hide the body from Ethan so that like he couldn't see that, because Ethan's a boy, a little child, like you don't want to traumatize the child.
As if we
Yeah.
appreciate the lack of trauma, we appreciate.
Yeah.
Well, and like the way he was walking too, it was just like, oh, this is kind of sweet, just because he turned his whole body because the front of him was covered in blood. No one needs to see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Especially not poor Ethan, who has had like not the best time since he's got there. I mean, giant metal rod through leg. Like,
Yep.
rough goes. So Jim and Ethan enter the diner, and Sarah greets them. I forgot her moniker, that bitch. And they briefly talk about Mr. Liu's death, because Jim is like, because they meet Tien Chen, and he's like, oh, is that, the one whose husband just died? And Sarah's like, yeah, and it gets all awkward, because she's like, yeah, I'm the one who, like, helped get him
Yeah,
murdered.
that was my bad. Sorry about that.
Oops. So, back with Boyd, he drops Frank's body off with Father Khatri. When asked if he will be back for the service, Boyd scoffs and says, are you going to mention at the service that you're the one who wanted him dead? Which,
Right.
like,
No,
dude.
that's not what happened.
No.
Be for real.
But Boyd is just still upset.
He's kind of like grieving and just like angry about everything, even though it was kind of his punishment that he created, but whatever.
I feel like the father does touch on that in that moment. Like, no, you did this.
Yeah. But I think, too, like, this just happened, and, like, people are going to be in their feels a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. Nope, it makes sense. I understand why Boyd is upset, because, like, why did it have to come to this? Why did we have to enforce this punishment? We should have never had to.
Right. Because he never wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get to Kenny and Jade. So Jade takes Kenny to the root cellar and takes him inside to show him, like, or to kind of tell him what he experienced there. Jade tells him about the symbol he saw and the dead body he saw the other day with the rock that was all blood screamy. And Kenny says it's tough the first couple days, but Jade insists he knows what hallucinations are because he's done a fuck ton of drugs.
And you know what? Good for you, buddy.
Like, you know what? I believe him.
Yeah, after how we met him, yeah, I totally believe it.
Yes. If anybody knows what a hallucination is, it's that dude.
Oh, right.
We also learn that Jade is a rich software developer, and like he started from the ground, and like nobody believed him, and so he's got like this headstrongness about him, even though he's kind of douchey at times.
Kinda?
Okay, very, very. But he gets frustrated that there must be an explanation, and none of the other people here are looking for it. Kenny takes him back to the sheriff's station to show him something. So we go back to the diner, and Tian Chen makes Ethan some pancakes, which was very cute. And Ethan asks Jim if they live here now. And Jim says no, this is like a vacation.
Which I take great exception to, because no, like there's this like ongoing thing with shows and books and every form of media in real life where like people just like hide the scary shit from kids, but like he does live there now. He is going to be surrounded by really scary shit, and he needs to be informed so that he doesn't open windows and get people killed, including himself.
Right.
Right. There was definitely a way to go about that without making light of the situation. He could have even said, we're just a little stuck right now.
Yeah, just like
You
what
know,
the kid said when he got his leg impaled. I'm just
it,
stuck
it,
right now.
it doesn't have to be indefinite. It doesn't have to be, but to make light of it and call it a vacation, right? Because,
Yeah,
like, you instantly assume vacation equals good time equals entertainment.
and
So the
relaxation, not
things,
being on
yeah.
guard 24/7.
So those things outside whispering to me, those are clearly entertainers. He's going to have a Jade moment, you know what I mean? But, with the monsters, and he's a child. Jade, I could forgive the show if they ate Jade. I couldn't forgive the show if they ate Ethan. I'd be so upset.
Oh, Jade is giving some really good entertainment right now. I'd be
He really
upset.
is, though. He really is giving some good entertainment. I kind of hope to see him utilize his tech knowledge a little bit in the future, but
I
we'll
hope.
see.
I hope. I don't have high hopes, but I still hope.
Yeah, I hope.
Well, Ethan doesn't buy the bullshit either. And he says he thinks that it's like a quest and that they have to save someone like Norman did in the story that Julie was telling him in the beginning. And to save him from the lake of tears. So he says that sometimes he pretends that's where Thomas went, his dead little baby brother. That he is on a magical quest, and that if Ethan tries, he can help him save the kingdom. Jim clearly gets emotional and gets up to go to the bathroom, where he just completely breaks down. So this is still some pretty fresh trauma. I mean, I imagine. Not something I've experienced, but yeah, that's that on top of the stress of everything else that's going on would be pretty emotionally devastating.
Yeah. Yeah.
At that point, when Jim is gone and Ethan is eating those pancakes, Victor comes into the diner and sits down with Ethan. He says the trees have moved 4 inches. Ethan asks if that's a good or bad thing. Victor says they're closer, so it's bad. Ethan asks him if they should tell someone, and Victor says they won't understand. Victor then shows Ethan a picture of the boy in white and asks if this is the boy he saw. Ethan verifies that it is after giving him some shit about drawing in crayon. And Victor says that means he was real. So Victor is clearly starting to remember things like he had mentioned to Julie. At this point, Jim comes back to the table and clearly overreacts. Like, so much.
Insane. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, he walks up, he starts yelling, he's like, he wants to know what Victor thinks he's doing. He grabs the picture that he showed him. He like grabs him by the collar and he shoves him out of the diner. And like even Ethan is upset at this point with his dad because he's like, dude, Victor is a friend. Like, calm down.
Right.
Like,
And and it doesn't take a super observant person to realize that Victor is a little differently abled. Like why are you bullying someone who is a little on the different side? Like why are you doing that?
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I get that he's the creepy dude in town, and I get that you have been here literally like 3 days at this point, so you haven't had much time to evaluate. But like, calm down. Like, chill the fuck out. Don't be the monster inside the house like some other people are.
Right.
You got enough other stuff to fight with.
Mm-hmm.
So they end up leaving the diner because they caused a big scene. Um, Back at Colony House, Julie is upset and crying. Fatima comes up to check on her, and Julie admits that she thinks she made a mistake not going with her family. Fatima tells her that it was tough for her at first, too, but figuring out how to get her clothes back from Trudy helped, because Trudy would just be taking everybody's stuff.
They
Right? Trudy is a man. She
Trudy
drives
needs
me
a
crazy.
hobby.
Yeah. Yes, she does.
And I don't mean like stealing clothes from people.
Right. Or creepily watching people in their sleep. She did
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
She did that to Jade day one.
Right.
Uh, Fatima and Julie are out at the clothesline, and Fatima shows her an Armani top from a cross dresser who had been in town before, but is no longer there.
I
So
yes, I think we all
uh
know what happened.
yeah,
yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Sad. I would have loved to meet them.
Right? I'm like,
Yes.
where's this character? Because I probably would have been added to the favorites list. I'm sure.
Probably. They had great taste in fashion.
Right? Seemed great. But after they passed, their clothes kind of went up for grabs. But since they share everything, whoever gets to it first gets to wear it. But Trudy is always trying to hide it so she doesn't have to share it. Which, like, rude. If you want to share other people's clothes, you cannot hoard the Armani.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So Fatima tells Julie to try it on, and it's a nice little moment of bonding for Julie and Fatima. Just kind of a cute moment that lifts Julie's spirits up a little. Uh, Tabitha walks up to bring Julie a sweater that was in her bag. She tells Julie that they miss her, and Julie says that she misses them too. Tabitha asks her to come back with them. It's not a prison. They can talk to Donna that Julie made a mistake and changed her mind.
Mm.
Julie gets upset and frustrated with her mom. She says that her mom always makes it seem like poor stupid Julie doesn't understand what she's doing and that everything will be okay once she admits that she was wrong like she always has to. So, like, a touch of teen girl angst, but like I can understand Julie's frustration at this point with her parents.
Right.
And Tabitha tells her, well, that's not true. And it's important that they stick together as a family in this unknown place. And Julie drops a bomb. And Julie says,
Floor
"You
drop.
right? Yeah." She says, "You're really going to lecture me about family when you guys were about to get a divorce?" So she knows.
Which does kind of when you're first thrown into this show, at first it seems fine, but you can sense a little bit of a tension in the RV in the very beginning when he mentioned something about like you remember, back then, and it seemed lighthearted at that time, but then like that you could tell the vibes were off, and like it's just kind of so. Not only were they dealing with that, but they were hiding it from their kids, and not very well because they were inadvertently bickering about a possible divorce in episode 1 in the RV.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was, and kids are more observant than you think.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Tabitha does the whole, we love each other very much, and we love you and Ethan very much when Julie cuts her off. She's like, Thomas is dead. And I know it's hard, and I know you lost, but we all lost. You have 2 other kids. Why aren't we enough for you?
Oof.
All right, girl. You know what?
Oh,
Point to Julie.
my inner child healed a little bit when she said that.
Yeah, that was oh man. And that is like again, I've not been in this situation, so it's like one of those like that has got to be an incredibly difficult situation for a parent. But like Julie's not wrong either, you know? So
No,
and yeah, and Julie, she's like I don't want to make things worse. I can't do this right now, and she walks off. And yeah, that was a tough one. That's a tough scene. And then Fatima comes over to Tabitha and gets Julie's sweater so that she can have it. So back at the post office / sheriff station, Kenny is showing Jade a map with pins in it, showing where the different people were driving when they got there. So, like the Matthews family were in Arizona, Jade and Toby with New York plates were in Florida, which, makes sense for their weird drug fueled state. No offense, Florida. Kenny
all the
and
offense.
I was gonna say, why aren't we offending Florida?
I think Florida's strong enough to stand up for itself.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
All the
I
offense,
mean, you
Florida.
just need 3 Florida men to win most wars.
So Kenny and his parents were in Austin, Texas, and then Christy was in Detroit. So everyone is driving in from different places but end up here. Toby, which is really neat, right? Because we kind of talked about that a little bit of like this is a place that's kind of out of space, like it's not in it's somewhere, it exists somewhere because these people are here, right? But it's not like a location on a map.
Mm-hmm.
Jade's response to this is that is fucking impossible. He gets determined to find an answer to what's going on here. Kenny tells him that he's going to lose his mind, and that's what happens to people who can't adapt. They can't bend, so eventually they break.
I can see that, but also, like, if no one's looking for a solution, how do you expect to ever leave?
Yeah, and I get that too. Like, I gotta imagine that people who have been there before have also looked for solutions, but that doesn't mean that they necessarily have the same background as another person
Right.
who comes in. So you kind of, I don't think I could walk in there and go, okay, well, que sera, sera, let's let it ride. Like, I'm going to be looking for an answer.
Well, and like if no one was looking for anything, they might never have seen the talismans. Like, I don't know how they were found, but like if you're not looking for something, you're going to miss everything.
Right. Nope, that is an excellent point.
Do have a theory of why these people are here, but I'll wait till the end because
Okay.
I think it's interesting.
Okay. Um, so Kenny continues on that the monsters aren't the hardest part. It's what this place does to you, what it makes you think and feel and question everything you know. And while he's giving this speech and trying to get Jade to chill out a little bit, a CB radio next to Kenny starts to produce static. And Kenny says, yeah, it does that. But Jade lights up and grabs it and, like, runs off.
Right. When that happened, I was like, could this be something and they just haven't, like, figured it out? Like, is there clues in this radio stuff? Because also, like, those jukeboxes at the diner kept going off. So it's like something could be happening with the electricity and they just don't have the skill set to figure it out.
Right. And maybe Jade does. Maybe with his, like,
maybe that's why
technology
he's
background.
here. Yeah.
So back at the Matthews house, Jim is sitting on the front porch looking at a drawing of the boy in white. Yeah, because Ethan basically, they got back to the house and Ethan was like, go away. Because he's still mad at him.
Right.
About Victor.
You scared my only friend off. I need some space.
Yeah. It's bad. Man, these parents are just having a rough go with these kids.
Parents of the year.
Yes. So he's looking at the drawing of the boy in white that Victor gave to Ethan when Tabitha walks up. They are both in a very bad headspace after fighting with the kids. Tabitha tells Jim that Julie knows about the divorce. He says everything's going to be okay. She rightly gets upset. Like, they are in a demon world, and even my toxically positive ass wouldn't be over here saying, like, look on the bright side, people.
Yeah,
I
everything's
have
fine.
I have this insane trait where I'm like naturally a realist, almost pessimist, right? Just like in like my default mood, but like literally the worse the situation gets, the more of a fucking optimist I am. And I don't know why my brain decides to flip on sunshines and rainbows when it's as bleak as it can be, but I really kind of feel like that would be my coping mechanism too. It's like it's going to be fine.
Oh no, Beans
It's
would
the
be Jim in this
denial.
moment. Yeah, yeah.
It
But like,
might be denial. Yes, it's
I
the
mean,
Lulu land.
it is. It really is, though.
but I think Tabitha made an excellent point during this where she was like, I think she said it during this and not their talk later, but she said, you know, when you're like this, when you're like everything's going to be okay and the rest of us can barely breathe, we feel like we're doing it wrong. Like
Right.
we feel like we're
Yes.
not good enough.
And I could so relate to her in that moment because yeah, some people are just like always happy, and it's like, what am I doing wrong that like I can't see it
If
like
I
that?
can do just a little bit of perspective defense for our daddy-o here for just a moment. I think if he's like me, it's not that he truly believes that everything will be okay. It's just a matter of I have to be strong. And if they see that I'm okay, they will relax. They will feel more at ease. And it's doing the opposite in this particular case. But I feel like it's more of a he's the head of the household. He's supposed to be strong. He's supposed to be the pillar, the rock. And that's why maybe when shit always hits the fan and he's like, it's gonna be okay. I don't think he actually believes that it will be, but rather it's going to be okay because I'm going to keep myself grounded for my family.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I fully believe that is what he's doing, just trying to make the
But
best of a bad
wholeheartedly
situation.
agree with Tabitha there for just a moment. Be like, motherfucker, what?
Well, I think it's also like similar to what we've talked about in the past of like if you are having like an issue at work or like a bad day, and sometimes you just want to sit in the sadness and like be upset about something for a minute, and then
Yes,
you'll deal with getting past it once you've had like your 5 minutes of woe is me, and
yes.
he's just not giving them that, which I think is the issue.
Yeah, that is a big issue there, especially if you're going to be that like painfully positive one. Like
Right.
you if you can't take their negativity, you need to space yourself back and give them that time to grieve what was.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, and it probably doesn't help that they already have all this tension and all this other stuff, all this other baggage that's happening
Mhm.
that is
What
like
baggage?
Uh,
that dead
It was a
baby.
joke. It was a joke. It was a
Dead
joke.
baby.
It was a joke.
Uh, uh, so while they're fighting on the porch, Victor comes and taps on the window of the house and gets Ethan's attention and points him towards the back door. And Victor tells Ethan that they have to go find the boy. And Ethan says, well, he's not supposed to leave. But Victor tells him he has to because he was chosen like Victor was once. So we know that Victor definitely saw this. I mean, he drew the thing, so we know he saw this kid before. But it also kind of, you know, talked to him or spoke to him or whatever. And like it was part of his story. And so
Mm-hmm.
Victor tells him it's like a quest, which like Ethan loves that shit. So he's like, yeah, I'm down. Like I know I'm
I
not
am
supposed to
in.
leave.
All you had to say was quest.
Right, right. I'm here for it. And then Victor tells him that he can't take his crutch because that belongs in a hospital and he's going on a quest. So he gives him a walking stick instead, and they head out into the forest. So then we cut to Boyd. who is rebuilding the box when Father Khatri walks up. The father tells him, if you need to say shitty things to me in order to feel better about what happened, fine. Which, like, in this moment, I love Father Khatri. He is a badass in this speech. Boyd tells him, I'm not having this conversation. Father Khatri lays it out and says, okay, in that case, you're getting a sermon. How about how about Psalm 23 from the book of Cut the Self-Pity and Bullshit and Be a Leader? Okay, Father.
I love Father Khatri. He's the GOAT.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and he is Boyd's, truth speaker. He's gonna lay it out as much as like he wants to be. He's going to be this religious figure and all that stuff. He is like, look, we are in demon world, and we have to like look at reality. So I cannot always be an inspirational leader to you, but I am going to tell you the truth. So he tells Boyd it wasn't his fault that Lauren, Megan, or Frank, what happened to them. But it's not about them. He tells Boyd that he can't keep punishing himself. It's not what she would want. Which, like, okay, Lore, we love it. Boyd yells at him some more. Like, no, I won't want to do it. I don't want to talk about it. Nope. You better watch what you're saying to me. But Father Khatri says before Boyd got there, he had buried more people in a week than they had seen in the last 2 years. So clearly, like, Boyd was a big part of the leadership of this, of like getting this place to not just be demon world, but like somewhat livable. And he also dropped the lore that Boyd was the one who found the talismans. So whatever happened there, he was the one who found these talismans that, like, it gave them the ability to stay in the houses and not hide in the bushes every night, which seems awful as hell. And he created order out of chaos. He made it possible for the people here to live again, not just survive. Boyd saved this town, but the price he paid was something awful. Khatri can still see her face when he closes his eyes. He can't imagine how Boyd feels. He wishes Boyd had the luxury of grief, but he doesn't. These people need him. They haven't had a death in 3 months, and now they've had 6 in 3 days. The people need him to tell them it's going to be okay.
No pressure.
Right, yeah. Oof. Boyd needs to be strong, needs to be the one to lead these people home, because if he doesn't, she died for nothing. So, like, who is she? Like,
Right.
We don't really get told in this episode who they're talking about, but I think you guys have some guesses on this.
I mean, my only assumption is it's like his wife.
Right. That would be my assumption as well.
Ellis's mom, because we know that something happened with those two that made Ellis want to stay in Colony House, so I'm assuming it's all about the wife.
Yeah. And that whatever happened, yep, that created that rift between father and son, it clearly something very bad happened. So after Father Khatri leaves, Boyd picks up a nail, but his hand starts to shake, so something is clearly going on with him. Back in the woods, Victor and Ethan are looking for the boy in white. Victor tells Ethan that it had been so long since he went away, he started to think the boy in white was a dream. The first time Victor saw him was right before the 2 cars came. Not their 2 cars, but the first set of 2 cars. So that's, like, knowing what we know about Victor and everything, and that the boy in white, like, he saw him when he was a kid and all that stuff. So, like, the 2 car thing that everybody was, like, losing their minds about in the first episode, that makes a lot more sense. Like, that it, like, never happens. He said he was just about Ethan's age when they came. He tells Ethan he's been there the longest. And for a long time, there was nobody there but him. Which, like, if he's Ethan's age when that happens, no wonder Victor, you
Is a
know,
little different.
yeah, those were some formative years uh, of
Mhm.
of social development and many things that that Victor just he's not doing great with, and it kind of feels like he stopped aging at that age.
Yeah.
So Ethan asks him how he got there, and Victor doesn't want to talk about it. Ethan asks about his parents, and Victor gets pretty upset about that. Clearly, something really bad happened when he was a kid. Uh, Ethan says sorry, then tells Victor about the little brother he used to have, Thomas, who died when he was a baby. So more sad Thomas talk. And then Victor asks him, "Why did you tell me that?" And Ethan says, which like was such a funny moment for like a sad
Nobody
like,
asked, thank you.
"Why did you tell me that?" Ethan's like, "Oh, because we're friends." Victor says, "I don't want to know that stuff." Okay, bless Victor.
Keep your depression to yourself, thank you.
Right. Victor's like, "I got enough stuff to deal with. I don't need you trauma dumping on me." Tiny
Listen here,
child.
little man. Trees are fucking moving. I don't need to know about a dead baby.
Yeah, I'm looking for a boy in white here. I'm remembering some crazy from my youth. I don't need to know about no dead baby. uh, then they hear a twig snap in the forest and they see the boy in white in the trees and they follow him. Tabitha goes back into the house and Jim follows, still wanting to talk, but Tabitha wants to take Ethan to go see Julie because she's had enough of Jim's bullshit. And they can't find Ethan. So they're like looking around the house and then they see the open door and then they see the crutch on the ground and they head into the forest. Victor and Ethan lose sight of the boy in white but find what Victor calls a faraway tree. It's a tree with a big hole in the side of it, like that a person could fit into. Um, Victor is trying to explain this to Ethan. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's a faraway tree. There's a lot of these around. This is the first time I've seen this one, but there's like a ton of them." And so he goes to show Ethan what it does, and he draws like a smiley face on a rock, and he drops it into the tree. And then they kind of wait, and he's like, "What?" Ethan's like, "What's it supposed to do?" And he's like, "Well, we'll see in a second." And then the rock falls out of the sky behind them with the little smiley face on it, so you know it's the right rock.
Which
And
would
Victor,
110% traumatize me.
yeah, yeah. Like what? Okay, so we're not only in like demon land, but there's also some crazy magic happening here. Yeah, that's a lot.
I
And
don't know if traumatized me would be the way that I would say it. I'd be so intrigued, so I'd be like, let's find more rocks to throw in there. I need to see it happen again.
See, like, no, I say that that would traumatize me because I am 100% going to just swan dive into it, despite his warnings
yeah, I was
about
gonna
where you
say
could come out at.
Would want to jump into it as well.
I would not. That seems dangerous. You guys are crazy.
Well, I mean, granted, we all know my zombie apocalypse plan, which includes the Steven realm, so like that's where my headspace is.
True. You're like, might as well. Will this get me out
Might
of
as well
demon
go out
land?
in a cool way.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I mean, granted, I don't want to go out by the monsters either. They
Yeah,
like to play
no.
with their food.
Yeah, no, I'm good, thank you.
So Victor
Trauma.
Victor tells Ethan that he doesn't know how the faraway trees work, but they work for people too. So you guys could jump in them. I would be like, "That's dangerous, guys." Uh, but the problem is you never know where you'll end up. It could be somewhere close, it could be somewhere far, it could be that you end up stuck inside a mountain somewhere. They're temperamental that way.
I I need more information on this. Like, how did he find this out? Was he jumping into them and winding up in crazy places? Like, and what if you just fell out of the sky like the Rock? Like, I just need more information on how many people he's seen go through them.
True.
How does he know that you could be stuck in a mountain unless?
Yeah, I would be doing rock testing. There would be a
Yeah.
million rocks with smiley faces of different colored. How many crayons do I have? Because they're all getting different colors, so I can test where these crayons end up, where these smiley
Right.
face rocks end up. This would be a scientific experiment. He needs to get Jade in on this. Jade would love this shit.
Yeah,
Oh
you
my God,
would.
Jade would really love this shit. Let's get Jade.
So, and also, I don't think I mentioned it, but the name of this episode is called "A Rock and a Faraway."
Yeah.
So it's kind of talking about this scene a little bit. Um, so all of a sudden, they hear a dog bark, and it becomes like all echoey, and Victor starts to freak out a bit, and he's like having these flashbacks. So it's like him remembering stuff again, and it's him as that young boy, and there are bodies just absolutely everywhere, all across the town, and the boy in white is waving at him from the playground, smiling with all the corpses around, like, "Hey, what's up? We're cool."
Hey, girl,
This is
hey.
from the opening sequence. There's one of the dead bodies. It's
Yes,
like, ha, I've seen that before.
yes. So
I got excited.
those were all dead bodies from like, I don't know, 20, 40 years ago. I don't know how old Victor is, but he been there a long time. So Victor comes back to reality a bit and tells Ethan they've got to go. And Jim and Tabitha are in the forest yelling for Ethan when they become surrounded by dogs. So all of a sudden, and they're like freaking out, which I would too. I don't know, scary
Same.
dogs in the
They
woods.
were
Yeah,
growling and shit.
Yeah,
they do
I'd
no,
be
not look like
scared.
friendly puppies.
no.
No.
So all of a sudden, Victor and Ethan show up, and Victor fires a gun into the air and scares the dogs off. Also, like, didn't know that Victor was packing. That's
No,
a little
that was the
scary.
surprise.
Surprise.
Yeah. So Ethan goes to Tabitha, and Jim starts to be a fucking idiot. Like, what's up with half the dudes in this series being dumb as hell?
Well, like, my thing is specifically with the dad and Victor is why him? Why are you not a raging fucking tool with everybody else who has a penis? Why is it specifically Victor?
Yeah, like, I get he's the creepy guy, but like, also it's weird. It is a weird, like, why are you
Why
so
him?
aggressive? Yeah. So he starts heading towards Victor, all, "I warned you." And Victor's like, "I'm not a bad person. I won't hurt anybody." But like, he also is holding a gun, so
Granted, in this moment, it's like, yeah, I'd be holding that gun too, because why are you coming at me like that? I just
right.
saved your ass.
I mean, honestly, good on Tabitha for being like, he has a gun.
Yes. Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
maybe
Tabitha was
you
like,
should back down.
yeah, she's
like,
like,
calm
"Jim,
down, buddy.
no." Yeah, she was the smart one in that moment where, yeah, no, Jim needs to cool it. And poor Victor, cuz Victor just saved your asses. Yes, he's got a gun. Yes, he just kidnapped your child for a small amount of time. But like,
It's just a
still,
short amount of time. It's not like he
The
yeah.
was gone that
smallest, it's
long.
fine.
He didn't
Let's
chuck
be
him in a
real.
faraway tree. It's fine.
He could have.
Exactly.
He could have, and he didn't.
True. So Victor says he's sorry and he walks away, and Jim and Tabitha and Ethan head back to town. Back at the colony house is where Victor headed to. He's going through his drawings, and he finds one of a dog, and we cut back to little Victor, and there's a dog next to a dead body barking at him, and the boy in white is standing in the street looking at him. Before he and the dog walk away, Victor follows him, as, like, I mean, I guess you would, because it's like the only living thing you see, because
Mm-hmm.
everything
Yeah.
else is dead. Um, and the boy goes onto the merry-go-round. This is the part where it's the beginning scene, and that dead body next to the merry-go-round little playground thing, and then the boy in white disappears. And Victor puts drawings of, like, that time on the wall. So like the picture of the dog, a picture of the boy in white, the faraway tree, and a street filled with dead bodies. And then he's like, when he sees that one, he's like clearly upset, really remembering that time, which, yeah, would be devastating for like a child of 10.
I don't know. I feel like that's pretty normal.
Yeah, depends on how you grew up, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
And we don't know about his parents because he won't talk about it.
Yeah, but like, I wouldn't want to talk about anything in my past either if that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
same.
and I absolutely understand too, like, Victor has compartmentalized so that he can survive. Like
Mm-hmm.
he has blocked a lot of trauma out so that he can continue on, which fair. Like I haven't gone through a million people being, brutalized and murdered and killed by vampire monster or demon things. And I've probably compartmentalized some shit, so like
Yeah.
no problem with that, Victor.
Yeah, you do you, buddy. Do what you need to do.
We see you. We understand you are valid.
But
Yes.
I'm sure like this situation is super tough for him to try to like go back to that and remember things.
Right.
So then we cut back to Jim, our fucking idiot of a dad. Uh and he goes to Boyd and tells him that he has an issue with Victor, which like I think this is appropriate. This is okay.
This is what he should have done the first time.
Hmm.
Not attacked our poor boy Victor. You should have been like, "Hey, leave my son alone." I don't appreciate that. You should have grabbed him by his collar and shoved him out of the thing and like yelled at him and I warned you. Uh, so Boyd says he's one of Donna's people, and Jim tells him I don't care whose people he is. He's giving pictures to my son. He's taking him into the woods. Boyd's like, oh God, okay. And he says, I'll talk to Donna and make sure that doesn't happen again. And then he's like, did you know that he carries a gun in that lunchbox? Boyd's like, well, shit, did not know that.
Yeah, like this is actually new information. That's concerning.
Right? Yeah. No, he hasn't brought out the gun. But I absolutely understand why Victor's packing after the things he's been
Yeah.
through.
Hmm.
So Boyd says, okay, I'll talk to Donna, but also, hey, everything's been so crazy and we haven't had a chance to get to know each other. So why don't you bring the family over to dinner at the diner tonight? So they go back to the colony house and Fatima has a surprise for Julie. She and Ellis have set up a bed for her in their room. And this way she can yeah,
Yay.
this way she can have her own space with a privacy curtain and a place to store her stuff. And they tell her, like, it wasn't a mistake. You belong here. And then Fatima gives her the sweater and she says, this does too. Like, kind of a both sides are cool, but like, you're fine. We got you moment. Which, again, I can't remember who said it when we were watching the episode, but like, they could have taken down this super creepy picture behind her
God,
bed.
yes. Yes, cuz like it's still like the picture of kind of like the town and then it just has Fatima and Ellis like naked in the middle of it and then like creepy monster hands coming in from all sides. Like it's a fucked up portrait and that's just like right above her head as she's sleeping every night now.
I already have enough nightmare fuel from the town alone. I do not need it staring down at me at night.
Right.
And my two new roommates naked with me.
Yeah, a little weird, little weird. I get like I appreciate the sentiment, guys, but like this is weird.
A little bit.
Mhm.
We cut
Only a
back.
little.
Yeah.
Just a little.
So we cut back to Boyd, and he's cleaning himself up in the bathroom, and he's trimming his beard, and then just full out, like I'm losing it moment, and screams into the mirror.
But though.
Relatable.
Full
Most
crash
relatable
out.
thing he's done.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I think that it's fair. I think that if everybody crashes out like multiple times a day in Demon Land, fine. Like, you are entitled.
Honestly, crash outs though are like really helpful. Like if you're bottling that shit up for too long, it's not good for anybody. Let it
Hmm.
out, Boyd. Let's go.
So then we cut to dinner with Boyd and Jim and Tabitha and Ethan at the diner, and they're having, a little small talk, and Tabitha thanks Boyd for what he did for Ethan, and Boyd says, all things considered, you guys are doing pretty well here. And then Sarah brings over a special dish for them, and Sarah asks Ethan if he wants to help bring over the rest of the food. So once he walks away, the jukebox starts playing. And like you guys talked about earlier, sometimes they just do that, like for whatever reason. We don't know
Yeah, it's
yet.
happened like in every episode so far as the jukeboxes have just started up.
Just a well-timed song. Like, okay.
Right.
So Kenny pops
Great
in.
plot device.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Good job, jukeboxes. We appreciate you.
I would be paying attention and be like, oh, something weird's going on because this song is about weird shit happening, or just like happy, just like listen to the vibes.
Same. In Demonland, I would be carrying a notebook. There are no coincidences. I would be tracking everything that happened. If I
There
can't
would be spreadsheets.
I was going to say, if I can't get into a computer with a spreadsheet, I will create some form of spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So Kenny pops in and grabs Boyd for a minute. Jim and Tabby have a talk, and Jim apologizes for not handling this well, which I thought was a sweet moment. Like, the song that started playing was like something that reminded them of happier times, and they kind of had a moment, and she's like, we'll figure it out. And so then Ethan comes back over and he brings some sweet potatoes. And Sarah's over behind the counter, and Tian Chen says, they're a sweet family type of thing. And all of a sudden, once Sarah's kind of alone, she grabs her arm. Like, there's like this great pain there. And then all of a sudden, these scars, I think it's kind of like scars, appear on her arm that say, "Kill the boy."
Well,
Okay,
and
because I thought they were very worm-like.
I was
Like
gonna
it
say
looked
Oh,
like little
they looked like
worms under her
worms to me.
skin.
Because like
okay.
it was like her veins like lifted, like pushed up against the skin, and then were moving.
Yes.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, so maybe she's got like little buggies in her.
Yummy.
I wouldn't put
That's
it
what I
past
need.
Demon World.
That's what I need on top of Demon World is itty bitty little worms into my skin.
I don't think yummy is the word I would use for that
Uh,
personally.
I, oh, you can't actually think I was serious about
No,
yummy.
of course I do.
Tasty.
Yummy.
So the worms disappear, and she is very upset, and then like passes out and starts having a seizure of some sort. And everybody notices, and Boyd runs back in to help, and but we know that she's heard voices in the past that have told her she needed to kill Toby, and like she needed to leave the door open, kill that poor old man. Uh,
Oh man.
so her next mission from the voices are to kill Ethan. Uh, Back at Colony House, everyone is standing on the porch, and this is kind of the last scene of the episode, and they're watching Victor dig. And Donna comes running out to see what he's doing, and he says, he's just trying to get a head start this time. And it pans out, and you can see he's just dug several graves. He's like,
Many, many graves.
Yeah, I feel like he was at like 6 or 7 at that point, which like impressive.
yeah, because he
Very
hasn't been there
impressive.
that long.
Yeah, because he'd already been out in the woods. Like he must have started the moment he got home.
He saw those pictures of the dead bodies, so he's like, oh God, I remember that. Maybe that's why he was grimacing. He's like, I remember having to bury all of them.
Yeah, this is gonna be a
Shit.
lot of work for me. I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah, because clearly I'm the only one that's going to survive again. Like, that is
Yeah.
what's in his head. Which, yeah, that I felt really bad for him in that moment. But also, like, damn.
Ugh.
I'd be freaking the fuck out too if I was living at Colony House and I saw Victor start digging graves. Because I'm like, that dude's been here the longest of all of us. He knows all the shit. If he is worried about us all dying and needing to dig up a shit ton of graves, like, things are not good.
Something is
Right.
about to happen.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna trust Victor to know
I'm
things.
a hide the whole time.
Yeah. You give me a talisman, you give me a room that this is my room and there are no windows and no nothing and I will be in here by myself cuz I don't trust none of you bastards. We'll come out at
Right.
noon.
Exactly. I'll meet you guys at noon.
I need that
See ya.
shack in the woods that they were going to give to that guy.
Yeah, I'll fix it up.
My own talisman, my own space, maybe just like a cave with a talisman. Does that work? Would that work? I don't know. We have to
Well,
have a
the
door.
RV worked, so
Yeah, the
That's
RV
true.
worked.
we'll see.
Yeah.
You would have to test it. You go out there one night by yourself.
I'm not a tester. I'm not one of those people that would be like experimenting with that kind of thing. Someone else can do that and then get back to me.
Like
I'll do
you
it.
just okay. So Beans is out there testing if the talismans work on caves. I'm out there just chucking smiley face rocks in faraway trees. I'm just logging every song from the jukebox. Like
Right.
Kenny would be talking to me too. He'd be like, it's people like you that go crazy.
Like, yes, I'm aware, but I came here crazy, so it
Yeah.
works.
I'm like, what's new? This is
I
this is just
personally want to throw a jukebox into the faraway tree.
That
so
sounds like a plan.
so that was the end of the episode. Beans, you said you have a theory.
I do. So I've noticed it seems like everybody here, and not every single person, but there is one person that seems to be within their respective arrival vehicles that is under an extreme amount of duress, right? So we'll take Tabitha, for instance. She's lost her baby. She's surrounded in all of these negative emotions and just happened to drag her kids and husband into this thing because I think that this is like because we've established that this is a place that exists outside of basically the confines of normal physics.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that it's targeting people because why would Toby have been so upset? I mean, I get it. Like, oh man, I caused a crash. Like that's like, oh man, I feel bad about this situation. But that's not. It's all my fault. That's not that kind of reaction that you'd expect from that. I think that maybe Mr. Toby had some unresolved emotional influencing that needed to be talked about before, getting stabbed uh
So
brutally.
okay, so you think this place is like if you've got kind of a dark like something happening, it's going
Something.
to like pick you to be one of
Right.
the people.
So and then another like in to say like yeah, okay, we see Kenny, we see his mom, we see that, but I think if my theory is correct, the dad was the target
Well, and also they were coming back from picking up the dad after
from
he had
picking
gotten
him
out.
up.
So that was a
Exactly.
very yeah, that was a very traumatic moment in their story. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah.
So I feel like that like you run into this tree in moments of extreme stress or just negative energy being around you. I think that that could have something to do with it. And it is possible that even the radio frequencies, because humans are very electrical beings, if you think about it, our whole nervous system is nothing but just a fucking circuit board. Um, every time there's like almost a need for comfort, those jukeboxes start.
Okay.
It's almost like it's lulling them to be complacent almost. That's just the vibes that they were giving me because those they'll just randomly start and yes, it's unsettling, but like when you're used to it, oh yeah, they do that sometimes. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Or even when they get a little too close, like in the situation with the post office and Kenny and Jade, they were getting a little too close. That wasn't a song. That wasn't the same as the jukeboxes. that was communication coming through.
Right, that was some static that was happening. Yeah. Well, and that's oh man, see this gives me another thing to be real weird about in the town of Demonland. Cuz I would be like, okay, a song has played. Who has any emotional connection to this song?
Right, but like it's done it twice now.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's just coincidence that it's happened when it's just two people that happen to have love connection in some ways. I think it's a coincidence. It could be related, but I don't have my spreadsheet like you said.
Right.
So
Oh, so something in this place is kind of in their heads then. Kind
that's
of
what I think so, because I think it goes back to those worms in that girl's arm. Like, I don't care, like them's worms. Like, girl, you got problems. You need some of that ivermectin that they were talking about during COVID. You need some of that because you got worms. Um, but like, I think it goes back to it. I think it's actually probably inside all of them. I think they're all contaminated.
okay.
Huh.
I mean, they are eating food and drinking water from this place.
And they don't even know where this shit comes from.
Random cans of peaches
for
keep
all for
appearing.
all they know, this is all a mass hallucination, and they've all fallen off the road, and they're all stuck at the bottom of a pit in some sort of eldritch deities LOL moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I very much for like a long time I was like, are we in purgatory? Like, is that what's happening here? Like, is that
It
you
feels
know?
like it because if you think about it, if you think about the mythos of purgatory, which also exists outside of space and time, and even outside of the grasps of heaven and hell, if you, depending how close you want to get to theology, but it very much has that same feeling that it exists outside of time. And it's possible because we've only seen about 3 or 4 days pass by.
Mhm.
But how come nobody talks about winter?
Yeah. Uh,
Well, granted, they've been a little busy with the dead bodies to be discussing the
But
weather.
why have they not said anything about the weather changing? It's always sunny in Philadelphia, right? Well, it's always sunny in Demonland too.
yeah. No, that is true. That is something that hasn't really like been touched on yet. So
Yes. So I'm interested to see if anybody brings that up. Come on, my boy Jade, notice something, please, because I think he's here by accident. I don't
I
think he's there for a purpose.
I would say if they wouldn't have mentioned it by the end of the season, maybe I'd be interested, but like they've only been like we have only been watching this town for a few days. So
Well, I know, but
people
that's
not
why I
talking about the
say
weather is just like eh.
I'm I'm developing here. I don't have my spreadsheets, okay? I'd be the freak with like weird. I'd have the cork board. Let's be so for real. I'd have the
Yeah.
cork board with little notes everywhere going, jukebox started playing with these two people. Jukebox did this. Fucking radio did that. Where is the rain?
Yeah. Maybe
Except
it's
for it
because I
did
live in the
rain.
desert, but
but
like the
It
weather
there
did
were
not
rain that
changing
one
much
night.
would not
I was going to say
spike my curiosity.
yeah, I was going to say there were puddles when Victor was counting the trees. So there was
Yeah.
weather.
There was rain, and it downpoured that one night when Jade cracked his head open on that rock. So I
Oh,
mean, there's that.
true.
But I don't know. I think we are in a particular location that exists outside of space and time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
And it might
I
be
don't know about the
why
weather though.
everything is in the 50s. Well, I mean, I get, look, I mean, Purgatory can only do so much. Let's see you make snow, motherfucker. I don't think you can because half the time Michigan can't. So let's try it. But
We shall see as the time progresses for us what
Yeah.
yes, I
Demonland
Once we've
I
brings.
reached a new week, I'll start focusing on the weather.
well, I mean, and here's the thing, that's like some of the dumb shit my brain's tracing on, going, okay, let me take in environmentally what's going on.
Yeah.
No, I think it's fair. I think like if we were, and I think it's fair to just be like, look, if I was in this land, these would be the things I would be focused on. Like I would
Mm-mm,
be hyper fixated because like I don't want to think about the monsters, and I'm not
mm-mm.
gonna like just go out. I'm gonna try to figure out a way. And granted, I would have died on the first night tripping, especially if they made me run. I would have
Oh yeah.
jaded, but like I would have
Would have
died.
jaded.
So
Aw.
I'm too klutzy for this land. This is why I can only come out at noon. Uh, Lots of times to protect myself from injury. But it's going to be the things, because that's, if I am in this crazy world, I'm going to I'm going to jade. I'm going to start focusing on the most random stuff, except for his first day. I'm not going to be an asshole and, be like, this is a
No,
game.
we're not. You
But
don't know who I am.
yeah. I'm gonna be looking at every single thing. I'm gonna be interviewing all of these people. Like, I want to know your entire story. Like, I want to
Yeah.
have all of the information.
Could also be like, hey, what year was it when you came
But
in here?
Yes.
yeah,
Like,
because
are we all here in the same like from the same time, or
true, is this truly out of space?
yes?
Because we know a little bit of, like, this person has been here this long. Victor's been there
Yeah.
for goddamn ever. Donna's been there for 3 years and almost 4 years at this point. Uh, Boyd found the talismans about 2 years ago, so he's been there longer than 2 years, but not as long as Donna, it seems. Like, so there, and Father Kotry had been there even longer than Boyd as well. So we're finding these, like, spots of, like, okay, these people have been here for a long time, but, like, what time do they exist in?
Mm-hmm.
That is a good question.
And why does the jukeboxes only seem to play older songs?
I think one of the ones that they played for, no, I guess that was an older song. I was going to say the one that they played in this episode for Jim and Tabitha, I thought was slightly newer than some of the other ones that have played.
Yeah.
It is, but like
Relatively speaking.
relative
Yeah.
to the current time where we are, that's an older song.
So, Lauren, do you have any theories that you want to talk about?
Oh gosh. Well, I don't think Victor is Ethan anymore.
Yeah,
Because we've seen him as
that
a
was the
kid.
theory.
But I do think that time is a loop of some sort in here. Like it's time is not the same as our time. Um, I'm curious, like I don't know about people being targeted for their like mental state. I think there's definitely something about them that is getting them trapped in here. One thing that I'm curious about is like we have a bunch of people that seem to have roles. Like I don't know if Boyd was a sheriff before he got there or just became a sheriff after. But like they've got a father, like I assume he's a priest. So like, is there something that's like, oh, we have a need for this type of person in the town. Let's pull someone in.
Well,
Something like that.
I think it was stated before, and I could be wrong. I could be tripping. That Boyd was not a sheriff before he came.
Okay,
He just established law and order.
gotcha.
Yeah, I think yeah, I don't think they've talked about it yet. But I believe Beanz is right that he wasn't a sheriff before, and I think they mentioned it. But that yeah, he was in some type of leadership role like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. But regardless of like if he had the actual sheriff title, maybe they like whatever entity or non-entity is pulling them in and trapping them. Like maybe it saw a need for leadership and was like, yeah, this guy fits the bill. Um, or maybe all these people just have some sort of thing that allows them to perceive supernatural stuff, and so they just. I guess I'm going off of nothing. I got no big theories, just that there is something that is pulling them in for a reason. Because I would hope that it's not just anybody gets pulled in for no reason whatsoever.
You're like, please, not me. Thank you.
Please, not me. I have no potential. Don't pick me.
I think it's a little more nefarious than I see a need for a leader. I think it's because whatever this is seems to be preying on them and eating them.
Yeah.
I think it's a little more nefarious, and it wouldn't want to build a town for success. I think
I
I think Boyd was a mistake taking this
I don't
motherfucker.
I don't mean like it's building a town for
No.
success. I think they're bored and I think they might
Oh,
want.
could be like a game, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because it would, I think I said this in a previous episode, but it would be real boring if like you're just preying on people and all of them just die super easily. Like, give me a challenge. Not me, because I'm not hunting people, but you know what I mean.
Right.
And I will say I do think Kenny's right in a way that it's not the monsters you have to be worried about, it's this place, cuz I think there's a lot more than just these monsters. Like there's
I
Yeah.
just
think I
much
think the
more.
monsters are a product of this place.
Yeah. Where like
Oh, I agree.
because like you were saying earlier, the jukebox, if it's playing songs that actually match emotions, like there is something deeper happening here. You know, the stuff with Sarah where she's hearing voices and like she got worms in her arm or whatever is happening to her, like there is something deeper than just these monsters happening in this place.
Yeah.
I think these monsters are in fact victims of
I
whatever the grander scheme is. I
I
think
was
that they're
curious
just
about
people
that
who
too.
failed.
Yeah.
Could be like a quest. Maybe they just failed in their quest and now they've become a part of the obstacle of the quest.
One and honestly that brings up a thought that I'd had at a previous point, like when Jade was running around thinking everything was like an acting kind of thing, and he saw that dead body that opened its eyes and like monster face.
Mhm.
That did hit me of like, what if the monsters are people who had been there before and died?
Hmm. And I'm real interested about that sigil that was above him when he fell.
Right.
I'm real interested in it.
Yeah, no, that definitely has to mean something. Like Jade's whatever he's seeing definitely means something.
Hmm. Because it wasn't there when he showed Kenny,
Right.
and
It was
neither was the body.
yeah, it was part of his vision or whatever, not hallucination. He knows what those are. Done all the
Yep.
drugs.
Yep.
God.
All right. Well,
I feel like me and Jade would get along really well in real
oh,
life.
you know what? I would hate Jade at first. I would work him out of that like being an asshole part. You know, like
He,
uh,
He's trainable.
yes,
he is. He's trainable.
I agree. Jade is
Jade
trainable.
reminds me of a very good friend of mine. So
Yes. No, I definitely, and I see Jade and I'm like I actually, as much as like I want to, I'm Kenny in this moment. As much as like I want to slap the shit out of you cuz you're driving me crazy, we could be friends. Like let's work together on this. Like let's yes, you have some rough edges, buddy. But like we
But
could
we'll
do
get
this
there.
together. Yeah.
we'll get there. I have a lot of hope for Jade. Like I know he was an ass. He was, but you know, how do you cope with what's happening? Because the last thing you knew, you were high in a car, and then suddenly you woke up gagged and bound to a bed.
Yeah.
That reads, especially if the friend you were with that is a prankster, that very well does read, I'm being pranked. I'm getting punked. Where's the cameras?
Right. And again, he saw, well, he was high and then he got knocked out. He saw nothing that first night.
Yup.
So, at least everybody else had, the whispers in the RV or they saw the monsters on the porch. Like they know shit is going, like this isn't right. Where like he didn't have any of that the first night.
Well, and also he's alone. Like everyone else has friends or family that they were with,
Hmm.
and he's completely alone.
Yeah, that would be awful.
Yeah. And that was another thing I'm curious about, like, has anyone shown up completely alone? And
Oh,
maybe. I mean there's got to be some people. I don't know if
but everyone we know
Fatima.
of has come in a group because even Fatima had mentioned that she was with someone, didn't she? Or am I misinterpreting what she was
I don't
talking
I
about?
don't think she did, or at least I don't remember her
I
saying
don't
that.
remember her saying that. So
Okay, I could
Fatima
be just
might have come along.
misinterpreting it because,
But yeah,
like
I
Jade,
don't
I
know.
have done all the drugs.
Yeah, I don't know that we've heard, but I I'm sure we'll find out at some point, hopefully.
All right. Well, any more theories before we call it a night?
Um, no, I got nothing.
I think the monsters are in the trees.
I think the monsters are just misunderstood and they just want hugs.
Okay.
I think you should
You
give them hugs.
you think you think the monsters are in the faraway trees? Is that
I
where
think
they
so.
stay at night?
I think so.
Okay. Or in the day, I guess. Yeah.
Well, during the day, well, they're night, but during the day, and that's why you never see them.
They just pop in a faraway tree and it hide down there, and it
And
doesn't take
maybe,
them places.
and maybe that's why the trees getting closer is a freaking problem.
Ooh. Okay. Well, we shall
Hmm.
see. I'm excited for you guys to watch the next episode, and we will recap it next time on I Found a Weird Show. So thank you everybody for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.